Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Potsmoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament of the Christian or Hebrew Bible. I use the Christian version of the King James Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel from the testimony of the various prophets of what is the Old Testament. It became the Book of Zion, a book written entirely in Bible verse. In order to publish legally, I had to write another book, the Potsmoker's Bible. It's the commentary to the Book of Zion, and it contains the Book of Zion in its entirety. Now, in order to fulfill the prophecy that I found laid out in the Book of Zion, I had to publish peace without the use of money. Money cannot be used at all by me in order to fulfill prophecy. If I use money, I'm done. I lose. So, when I say I am Zion, it's because I am. The prophecy says that I will succeed in what I'm attempting to do. And what I'm attempting to do is save humanity from the dire consequences of our own folly, i.e., climate change. I'm also fulfilling prophecy, bringing God back to earth, which means literally making first contact with the gray aliens, who are in actuality blue. They are our ancient gods, and they've come back, and they set in motion the elements of the prophecy, and now those elements have come together and actualized the events foretold. Those events are 2020, the presidency of Donald J. Trump and its aftermath, COVID-19, the consumption decreed, a plague, put a worldwide plague that consumes much of the population, and the righteousness that comes about as a result of the COVID-19 lockdown, which was the protests against George Floyd's death, which was foretold. The very manner of his death was foretold in Scripture. And it is their uprising that ultimately becomes the genesis of the Zionite nation. So, Black Lives Matter, you are the foundation of the Zionite nation. Kudos. It's like, thank you for standing up for us in the terrible hypocrisy that is the war on drugs that allows the police state to be. And this episode is about a choice that we have, because we do have a choice according to prophecy. Now, according to prophecy, we're going to choose Zion. Now, the choice is, now, I want to jump ahead a little bit past the terrible brutality that is going to be this winter. We have to get through the winter. But see, the question is, what are we going to do in the spring? What are we going to do when the vaccine is distributed and we can go back to living our lives? Which is hopefully, this is what's going to happen. So by spring, we should be in a position where we have to make a choice. Are we going to go back to things the way they were before COVID-19 with the ramifications of COVID-19? Or are we going to follow the prophecy and take a stand against the corporate police state and say enough is enough? Now, the prophecy says that's what we're going to do, and that's what I'm advocating. Now, we have to get past whatever Trump and his people are going to do. If we're lucky, the only deaths that we will have to suffer this winter will be COVID-19 and the ramifications of the COVID-19 super spreader event that's going on right now. By January, we're going to be in big COVID trouble. The vaccine will not be able to save us. It won't be out yet in numbers enough. We are going to have horrific deaths. But we will survive the winter, or enough of us will, to have to make a choice. Because right now, and because of the COVID-19 event that's coming, the blackness of this winter, everything's going to get locked down. We're all going to be pretty much back to quarantine. That's the only way we're going to mitigate the deaths. Like it or not, Biden is going to have to shut us down. Because nobody's wearing masks. Everybody's going home for Thanksgiving. 10% of America listen to CDC. 10%. Really, seriously, people? Do you love your family so much that you're willing to kill them just to see them one last time? But we have to get past the deaths. Like I'm saying, even if it's just COVID deaths, we're still screwed. But next spring, what are we going to do? Because Biden has already told you what he's going to do. Business as usual. We're going to go back to the way things were prior to COVID. Except we've lost most of the small businesses in this country. Or we will have by the time this is over. So what we will be left with will be starkly corporate America. Corporations will rule everything. Every job will be a corporate job in one way or another. And every dollar made will go directly to the corporate bigwigs, that 1%. And we're already seeing this. It's already happening. So what are we going to do? Are we going to become, in truth, a corporate state? Or are we going to do something different? I advocate for doing something different, and I advocate for that doing something different to be what I talk about in my book. A new nation created from the labor force, run by guilds, which are the various professions, not corporations, but the professions themselves. So that they're all doctors, all healers will belong to the healing profession, the healers guild, and they will have a place in government because all health matters will be under their jurisdiction. And every other aspect of society will have a guild, and every guild will be associated with a form of a seat of the government. So every profession will have a voice in government, and the government will be run by the professions themselves, the labor force. And it'll work from the bottom up. Everybody will belong to a guild. Everybody will be trained by the guilds. Everybody will be employed by the guilds just like they would be by a corporation. The only difference is, within the guild system, profession, artisans operate the country for mutual gain and benefit for all. Everybody in the guild system has a home, a bed, a room. Every child has adequate daycare, the right to see both parents and be part of the both parents' lives, and a future that is guaranteed and secure, where they will be taught their trade. They will be taught everything they need to know to decide for themselves what trade they want to take. And then they will be given all the training they need by their guild to excel to the best of their ability. Everybody will be an artisan. Now, contrast that with what we've had, the corporate police state. The corporations pay the lobbyists to line the pockets of the politicians so that they get laws that benefit their 1%. Everybody else gets crap. They're just the slaves that operate the machinery that feed the wealth to the rich. That's all we do. And we are forced to comply with this through the police state. The police state that is taught to consider citizens to be criminals until proven otherwise. And they're taught to use deadly force in all situations, forcing the population to comply. Now, Biden has already told you he's not going to change the police state. He's going to keep the police state intact. He's going to put overview committees in charge over them, and he's going to have lists of the worst offenders. And if you cross a certain line and you offend too many times, you get booted out. Business as usual. Is that what you want? Is that where Black Lives Matter is going to lead you? To addressing down of the worst offenders, but leave everything as it is? We have a choice to make, America. Do we want to live in a corporate police state? Or do we want to try something different? Do we want to try allowing communities to self-govern and to allow professionals to run everything? From the smallest plumber's shop in the smallest hamlet of the nation to the highest position in the land, all being created equal. No more laws to govern every move that you make. No one gets to decide what you want to do with your time or energy, as long as you fulfill your obligation to the nation. No one telling you how to have a good time. No one telling you what you can or cannot do with your body. But everybody knowing that they have to protect the rights of every other person, because every other person is just as important as you are. No individual right supersedes that of the community. And community is all that matters. So, I advocate that on April 20th, 420, we all go camping. There's this nice, great big, huge open area out west in Nebraska where the sand meets the land and the aquifer meets its border. I, I, and I believe that we should all go camping out there. Everything that we need out there, if we bring seeds, everything we need out there, we can provide for ourselves. And we can just say, hey, America, corporations aren't what we want. We want to be free. We want everything to be free. We don't want to play your money monger game anymore, because money is nothing but a way for you to lord it over us. We don't need your money. We've got sand for glass. We've got earth for bricks. We've got earth for food. We've got an aquifer for shelter, for water. We know how to dig so we can build a shelter from tornadoes, because that's our biggest problem out there would be a tornado. In other words, everything that we need to Minecraft ourselves is out there. So may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May they teach you right from wrong, and may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it. Make that your guild. If you get high, Stay happy and high. You have every right and reason to. Believe me, I know. I wrote the book. I'll see you later now. Because you know me, I'll never say goodbye.